Pooh Bear, aka Haja. I'm back with you guys with another video, and this is going to be story time. My life is not that interesting, but here and there is some stuff that do happen. So this is from you guys reading the title. This is going to be the story of me walking in on my friend's mom with my friend's boyfriend. The guy was my friend's boyfriend. So I'm gonna switch the names around. I'm not gonna use her name because she does watch my videos, and I talked to her before I did this video, but she did not prove me using her name because I'm not gonna put her on the spot. Because if it was the opposite, I want her to put my business out there. So okay, let's use my friend. Her name, I guess I'm gonna change her as Emily. Okay, my friend Emily. So my friend Emily, she wants me to come over one day. We really used to live next to each other and everything. She wants me to come over, and she wants to tell me that some of this stuff that been going on. I'm like, okay, sure. I haven't been over for a while. Let me come over. Da 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 da. And I remember she was telling me how she and her new boyfriend had some problem, that she feel like he's cheating on somebody and everything. I'm like, don't worry, you're just having some thoughts like that, like weird thoughts, like you'll be fine, he's not doing anything. And then she told me, yeah, but there's this girl that he always talking on the phone and everything, and every single time he gets a phone call, he be like, I have to take this outside. I'm like, why do you like, she was like, why can't he take it in front of me? So I'm like, I mean, I did tell her not to go out with him, but I thought I was wrong because I did hear some stuff about him. I told her about him. Let's use him. Let's say his name is Jack. Okay, so I told her about Jack because I've heard some stuff about Jack. So I told her before she even decided to go out with him. What the hell is on my arm? Okay, I told her before she even started going out with him that I heard this and that shit, but I was like, you know what, don't even listen to those. You gotta find out yourself if this is true or not, da da da. So they were about 3 months and a half in the relationship. So she was telling me how she feel like Jack is cheating, da da da, because he always hiding stuff now and everything. And then that one day she took his phone, and she went to the bathroom, and then he chased after her and everything. And then I was like, how is that proof that he's cheating? And then Emily was like, if he wasn't cheating, why did he chase after me in the bathroom? Like, that means he has something to hide. So I'm like, you know what, just forget it. So we had a normal girls' day, watching movie, everything, eating snacks here and there. And then I went home that day, and then the next day was Saturday. So I go back to her house because I had forgotten to give her something. I haven't forgot what it was, but I had to give her something. But she wasn't home. But me, I'm like family to that house. Me and Emily's family we're all together. Always, me and my family know them and everything. So I would go to her house, and then I'm like, I'm always welcome. Plus, I know where they keep the spare key, so they told me whenever I need it, just use it. So I was gonna go and put her stuff in her room. I take the key from under the mat, and then I open the door. And as I walk in, I just put the key back under the mat. I walk out, close the door. I was heading up to her room, and I passed her mother's room because her mother's first, because they have 6 bedrooms in their house. So downstairs they have 3 floors. Downstairs the basement, and then the living room and kitchen and the floor, and then on top is the bedrooms. So as you go up, like on the right is her mom, in front is her brothers, and then her sister and her room is all the way at the end of the hall. So as the first room is her mom's room. So I pass and I hear some moaning and everything. I'm like, I know this is not my house, but I didn't see the dad's car. Let's say the dad's name is James. I didn't see James' car, Dad James, so you guys won't confuse. Dad James' car out in front. So is it him? Because I mean, they're quite young parents, so I applaud them for getting it on because they're still parents, but the car is not downstairs in the parking lot. So I go quickly in Emily's room, and I put down what I need to put down. And as I was about to leave, I hear something that I wish I never heard. I was like, because we said the guy's name was Jack, right? So I hear moaning from the mom's mouth saying, okay, I'm not gonna moan because that's just like, ugh. But I'm like, oh my god, Jack, oh my god, Jack, you're doing so good, come on, faster, Jack, faster, Jack. That's when I stopped and I turned around. I said, did she just say Jack? And then I hear Jack talk. I'm like, I know this guy's voice, I know him, I know his voice from anywhere. I know him, I know that's him. And I do the stupidest move ever, but I just had to figure out if it was him or not. So I burst into the room. I opened the room, and plus, whoever's getting it on in the room, please lock the door. Trust me, just lock the door. Not saying that anybody's gonna walk in on you, but just lock the door. So I burst into the door, and there is her mom, Emily's mom, and Jack having sex, basically. They jump right out. I mean, they're like, her mom jumped off of him right when I walk in and said, oh my god, Sally, what are you doing here, da 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 da. And I'm speechless. I'm just like, because at that time, okay, Jack was like 17, and their mom was like in the late 20s, 8 or 20, I don't know, but she was in the late 20s. So he was turning 18 that year and everything, but he's older than he looks. Like, he's physically older than he looks. So if you see him, you probably gonna think he's like 24 or something like that, right? So I'm just over here looking back and forth like, is this really? Yesterday I was just here, Emily was saying she had some problems with him, and I was convincing her that no, he's not doing anything, da 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 da. And he's over here messing around with her mother, her own mother. Guys, out of everybody in the whole world, if you want to cheat, don't do it with family. I'm not supporting you to cheat, but just don't do it with family. That's the worst thing you could ever do. Don't cheat with family. That breaks people up. That, one, you're gonna lose the girl. Two, you're gonna cause the girl to have a problem with her family. Don't do that. So the thing is, me, I know myself. When I'm angry, pissed, I'm very aggravated, right? So I just like basically I stay quiet. But me, when I'm upset, I start shaking. So I was shaking, right? And I was like, is this for real? Then that's when I turned to the mom, and then she was over there crying, saying, please don't tell Emily, please don't tell Emily, please. Now I look at her, I'm like, how many times? And she's like, oh, please don't tell Emily. I say, how many times? Like, my voice get a bit louder. And then she was like, oh, we've been doing it for about 6 months. I said, what the hell? I turned back to Jack. I can't even look at this. It's like, it was so shocking when I saw it. I was just like, is this for real? How? And then I look at him, I'm like, why would you ask Emily out if you already are messing around with her mom? Like, why? One, is illegal. I don't even know if I don't care if it's illegal right now, but why would you ask Emily out while you know you're already messing around with her mother? Out of all people, her mother, though. So I just walk out, and then I guess, I mean, they don't keep going because I don't hear anything else. I walk out, I go back in Emily's room, even though I know I should have, like, left the house or whatever. But I was planning on calling Emily. That's when her mom walks in her robe or whatever. She over there, like, kneeling on her knees and everything, begging me, Sally, don't say anything. Don't say anything. I'm begging you, don't say anything. I don't want to hurt my daughter. I was like, that's a little bit too late. Like, what do you mean you don't want her daughter? One, you cheated on your husband that you've been with for how many years now, and two, you basically ruined your relationship with your daughter because it's her boyfriend. Like, you even allowed her to have a boyfriend. And then Jack walks in and everything. He was like, oh, you're tripping, like, why are you trying to tell her? You trying to mess up my relationship and shit. I said, bruh, I looked at him like he was the stupidest guy in the world. Like, why? Like, so that's when what's it called, Emily, no, it was not Emily, it was James, Dad James, which is Emily's father. We hear the car come in because he has an old raggedy car, right? So we hear come like the garage opening, and I look at the window and I see his car like parked in. That's when the mom runs in her room. I guess, I don't know, maybe she went to go change or whatever. And then James just sits in the bed, and I say no. I tell him, get up. No, get up. Like, why are you sitting here for? That's when Dad James comes upstairs, and then Emily's mom comes out of the room. She said, oh, hi, honey. And then he looks at her, and then he asks, why is your eyes puffy? I mean, in my head, I'm like, obviously because this bitch was crying. And then she was like, oh, nothing, something's in my eyes, I've been itching my eyes all day, da da da. I'm like, yeah, you've been itching your mouth, but you've been doing something else all day too. And then the dad turns to me and be like, oh, hi, sweetie, because his dad is a sweetheart. He's a workaholic. He takes care of the family and everything. And like, he's the type of guy that everybody would want. Like, he's supportive, he takes care of the family, everything that he does is basic for his family. And then that's when what's it called, it was Jack. Yeah, the boyfriend name is Jack that I said. Okay, it was Jack. He said hi to the dad, and he said, oh, I was just on my way out. And I'm like, is this like, I'm still processing everything that just happened. Like, I walked in on my friend's boyfriend cheating with my friend's mother. I'm still processing everything. So I'm just like, I told her, Dad James, which is their father, oh, I'm on my way home and everything. And that's when I was walking downstairs to go home, and that's when the mom pulls my home, and she just hugs me. I push her off of me, literally. I said, do not hug me, because this is not going to stay quiet. Like, I'm sorry, but I leave the house. And that's when that night I called Emily to my house. I called her to my house, and I hated it for doing it, but I had to tell her, like, it's something I had to do. And then so I called her to my house, and I explained everything, what I seen and what everything. And then she thought I was lying. She actually did think I was lying. And she was like, oh, I can't believe how you're gonna accuse him to do that. You were the one yesterday saying he wasn't doing anything, da 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 da. And I was like, I saw with my own eyes. She said, you're lying, my mother would never do that to me, da da da. I said, okay. So she left that house. She told me, don't ever call me, don't ever come to my house, da da da. I said, okay, it's cool. A week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed. I guess their mom thought that I didn't tell anything, even though I did. I mean, I did the right thing. I told her what I saw and everything. And then it was about 3 weeks later, she calls me. She didn't even call me. She comes to my house, knocks on the door, she's crying. And you see me, I have a heart. If I see somebody crying, I don't like it. So I'm like, oh, coming in and everything. And then she sits down, she just hugs me, and I'm like, what's going on? Why are you crying? And she tells me how I walked in on my mom. I walked in on my mom having sex with Jack. And I'm like, thinking back again, I'm not gonna say I told you so. I'm not gonna say didn't I tell you. I'm not gonna say nothing like that. I just hug her. And then she spent the whole day at my house. I'm talking. I made her talk it out and everything. And then she went home the next day. She slept over at my house. She went home the next day, and then she obviously broke up with her boyfriend. And she doesn't have the same relationship as her mother anymore. But she decided not to tell the dad, so their family wouldn't break up, because their dad basically growing up with like a mom and dad or whatever. She told me that her dad grew up without her mom, without a dad, so he's told her that his dream was always be there for your family. So she was like, I'm just gonna stay strong and not say to my dad anything. But she basically reduced her relationship with her mom. She's not gonna act all bitchy towards her mom, but she's not gonna talk to, like, like they're kind of separated a little bit more. But at the end, basically, she went through with it. She said I'm sorry to me for saying I'm lying, even though it was true and everything. And her mom, I don't know what happened with her mom, but she told me that her mom, she's like she started working and everything, because her mom was a home mom, even though her daughter was old enough to be home alone. And basically, so she didn't say anything to her dad to keep her family together, because her dad dream was always to stay together. So this is a story of when I walked in on my friend's mom with her boyfriend. So I hope you guys liked it, and comment below what you think, and tell me if you like story time so I could do more stories, because I have actually a lot more. Give a big thumbs up, comment, I mean not really scared, comment, how do you call it, share everywhere, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, and of course subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right.